Usually it's the governor's role to call a special session, but after a historic vote today, the General Assembly is doing just that. Speaker Todd Richardson says that the special session's sole purpose is to dissect the findings of the House Investigative Committee. That's right, y'all. So House Minority Leader Gail McCann Beatty said the House has gathered enough signatures today in order to move into the special session. Now, in this special session, legislators could consider impeaching the governor. And they are filled to the brim. MU's graduation ceremonies are bringing thousands of people from around the country and world to Columbia this weekend. $5 billion is 13 times the amount the system gets in taxes annually. Despite the fire, the dealership was still open today. They had already sold 2 cars by the time I got there. I'm outside of City Hall, where Columbia's utilities office is located. I was told that the city will never demand for payments over the phone, but these scammers are clever. Representative Donna Leschenegger, who sponsored the bill, had a former obstetrician gynecologist with over 35 years of experience testify. The hearing for this building on Clinkscale Road is at 9 a.m. at City Hall. Adding another generator has its pros and cons. It would cost the city roughly $1.6 million, but it would bump that energy production from the landfill up to 3%.
KOMU8's Pat Mueller tells us how the duo donated 3 weeks of their vacation time to make electricity the norm, not a luxury, for this community.
In Totota, Liberia, people rely on dry cell batteries, lanterns, and candles for their power and light. These Boone Electric Co-op workers trekked more than 5,000 miles to bring power to this area. Now, that doesn't mean providing TVs, washers, and dryers. It's more simple than that, but still very powerful.
I think most of the people were excited that they could see at night, because now when the sun goes down, it's dark.
Take that stuff for granted. I mean, flipping a light switch on in the middle of the night, that doesn't happen over there.
The volunteer opportunity came from the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association. With that group's help, the pair helped install 19,000 feet of electric line and 140 utility poles. The guys enjoyed showing the locals the ropes.
Or they've never built any kind of electrical structures. They never hung any wire. So it was neat.
Since Liberia is so close to the equator, solar power is the way to go. Once the project is complete, 400 homes in Totota will have power. Unfortunately, the crew wasn't there to see the lights come on. Still, the locals appreciated their hard work.
I think we created a friendship, and they were actually sad to see us go, because then they had to do everything that we tried to teach them. They were pretty much on their own.
A day off is nice, but bringing a basic utility to people who need it is very rewarding. Reporting in Columbia, Pat Mueller, KOMU8 News. The bandsaw is the first step in turning maple, walnut, and cherry wood into intricate military pieces for honor flight riders.
I thought I could maybe contribute something more to the honor flight, and I wanted to be a little unique. So I started looking up some designs of each branch of service. And I found some emblems online, and I also was able to create some.
Chuck Frederick served in the U.S. Navy during Vietnam. He's volunteered at Central Missouri Honor Flight for 4 years now. Although he worked with metal for decades as a mechanical engineer, wood always fascinated him.
I've always had an interest in wood, and so periodically I would always putz around with wood. We moved around a lot, naturally, because of the jobs. So I had a pretty nice woodworking shop, and then I sold everything.
His son motivated him to pick up his craft again.
And said, really quite casual, but before you die, Dad, I'd really like you to make me a classic, nice, three-dimensional chess piece and set with the table.
Frederick says the chess sets are much more time-consuming than his military mementos and other trinkets. It takes about 4 hours in the shop to complete a plaque or eagle. He brought 30 to the latest honor flight.
It starts early in the morning some days. I'll get up, I'll be inspired. I'll just go into my little shop and start working. And the next thing you know, it's lunchtime. Time just goes so fast.
It's no surprise that this retired engineer can't stop creating with his hands. Pat Mueller, KOMU8 News, Columbia.
It was a historic day at the Capitol. Both the House and the Senate approved a petition to go into special session for the first time ever. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. KOMU8's Pat Mueller is live at the Capitol to tell us about tonight's press conference.
Usually it's the governor's role to call a special session, but after a historic vote today, the General Assembly is doing just that. Speaker Todd Richardson says that the special session's sole purpose is to dissect the findings of the House Investigative Committee, both what it's found and its possible recommendations, including disciplinary action against the governor. Now, this committee has investigated Greitens for invasion of privacy, as well as possible improper use of a donor list during his 2016 campaign. The investigation will continue to get as much information as possible. The Speaker says this announcement gives them time to do so. Now, both chambers easily cleared the 3/4 requirement to move forward with the special session.
I had hoped from the beginning of this process that the committee would find no wrongdoing so that we could bring this investigation to a close and put all of our attention on the issues that matter most to Missouri families. Unfortunately, this is where the facts led.
The special session starts just 30 minutes after the end of the regular session on May 18th. Now, this special session lasts just 30 days, but the Speaker says that the House Investigative Committee will wrap up its work before then. Reporting live from the Capitol, Pat Mueller, KMU 8 News.